In the world of Hawaii high school girls basketball, at the Division I level, we witnessed the crowning of a new champ for the first time in 5 years.
This week on Road to the Ship, presented by Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union, we're recapping the Division I and II semifinal and championship matchups from the 2025 HHSAA Girls Basketball State Tournament.
Before we get started, we want to take this time to say mahalo to our sponsors: Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union, Young Brothers, Hawaii Pacific Health, Hardware Hawaii, Hawaii Building and Construction Trade Council, and City Mill. Mahalo for sponsoring our humble show.
The first Division II semifinal of the night tipped off at Kalani High School, where the KIF's Waimea squared off against the ILH's Hawaii Baptist Academy for a spot in the state championship game. From the opening tip, HBA set the tone, jumping out to a 14-4 lead in the first quarter, but Waimea refused to back down. Sparked by a strong performance from sophomores Siani Bagois and Rita, who came off the bench to lead the team with 8 points, the Menehune clawed their way back, cutting the deficit to 20-16 by halftime. In the second half, the Eagles steadily pulled away. Star player Sienna Lamblack led the charge with 11 points and 4 rebounds, while Ali Ann Lowe and Sierra Ramos each added 8 points to help HBA close out a 42-30 victory and secure their spot in the Division II state championship game. With the win, HBA advanced their 5th state title game in school history, looking to bring home their first championship since 2022.
In the second Division II semifinal of the night, top-seeded Hanalani squared off against number 4 Kohala for a spot in the state championship game. Hanalani entered the matchup as the undisputed powerhouse of the Division II, finishing the regular season a perfect 13-0 in the ILH before dominating Kamehameha Hawaii 63-19 in the quarterfinals. Kohala also had an impressive season, posting a 10-2 record in league play and securing a 53-34 quarterfinal win over Lanai. From the opening tip, Hanalani left no doubt. The Royals stormed out to a commanding 28-2 first quarter lead. Leading the charge was Royals star-studded duo of Lena Klemp and Piha'il Akiona, who finished with 17 and 16 points respectively. Hanalani cruised to a 68-28 victory, advancing to the Division II state championship game for the third straight season. Now they look to cap off their dominant run by winning their second state title in program history and their first since 2020.
The stage was set at McKinley High School for the Division II state championship, featuring a highly anticipated showdown between top-seeded Hanalani and Hawaii Baptist Academy. Hanalani entered the title game on a mission, determined to break through after back-to-back championship losses in 2023 and 2024, while aiming to bring home their second state title in school history. Meanwhile, HBA looked to further cement its legacy, chasing its 4th championship overall. Hanalani stormed out to a 29-15 lead, powered by a phenomenal performance from star player Elena Klemp. The tournament's most outstanding player saved her best for the final game of the year. She finished with a season-high 34 points and 13 rebounds. Klemp averaged 25.7 points in her 3 state tournament games. HBA's Sienna Lamblack, 13 points, and Lauren Okuda, 11 points, fought to keep the Eagles in contention, but the Royals' relentless attack proved too much to overcome. In the end, Hanalani completed their redemption arc, capturing their second Division II state title in school history with a commanding 62-33 victory over HBA. To summarize this season in one word, the Royals were dominant. They finished with a perfect 13-0 league record and 19-1 overall, which included a few early wins over Division I schools Punahou and Iolani.
Moving into the Division I semifinals, top-seeded Kamehameha-Kapalama took on Campbell with a spot in the state championship on the line. Kamehameha entered the matchup as the undefeated powerhouse against Hawaii opponents. The Warriors opened up their tournament play with a statement game in the quarterfinals, rolling past Moanalua 70-25. Campbell, on the other end, had a season defined by resilience. After an 0-4 start, the Sabres turned things around, finishing 9-2 in league play before grinding their way into the semifinals with wins over Waikea and Maui. But from the opening tip, Kamehameha proved too much to handle. Led by a dominant performance from Nihoa Dunn, who recorded a 24-point, 11-rebound double-double, the Warriors took a 29-16 lead at halftime and never looked back. Campbell's Kaden Parado fought to keep the Sabres in, leading the team with 16 points, but Kamehameha's depth proved overwhelming. Riley Paranada added 13 points, helping the Warriors close out a 51-36 victory. With the win, Kamehameha advanced to their second straight state title game, aiming to bring home their 10th state championship in school history.
The second Division I semifinal featured number 2 Konawaena and Iolani in a battle for a spot in the state championship game. Konawaena entered the tournament as a well-deserving number 2 seed, having dominated the BIIF with a perfect 14-0 record before cruising past Iolani 49-29 in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, Iolani had taken a much different path, scratching and clawing their way through the ILH with a 6-6 record before earning thrilling wins over Nanakuli and Kahuku on a game winner to reach the semifinals. But once the game tipped off, records didn't matter. The first half was a defensive battle, with Iolani clinging to a 13-11 lead at the break. Sophomore sensation Justice Keikaoha led the way for the Raiders, pouring in 22 points and grabbing 7 rebounds, while senior guard Mia Fry played the perfect sidekick, adding 14 points of her own. For Konawaena, freshman Aubrey Pack was a difference maker off the bench, leading the Wildcats with 21 points. The second half was just as intense, featuring 7 lead changes, including 4 in the final quarter alone. But when it mattered most, Keikaoha and the Raiders showed their championship pedigree, surviving their second straight down-to-the-wire contest to edge out Konawaena 43-40. With the win, Iolani advanced to the state title game once again, this time with a shot at a historic 6-peat.
With the Division I state championship matchup set, it was a familiar showdown, Iolani versus Kamehameha in a highly anticipated rematch of last year's thrilling title game. In 2024, the Raiders edged out the Warriors in a 39-38 overtime classic, and now they return, looking to make history with a record-setting 6th straight championship and their 10th overall. Meanwhile, Kamehameha was determined to reclaim their throne, seeking their first state title since 2013 and their 10th in program history. And this game did not disappoint. Iolani jumped up to a 22-19 halftime lead, fueled by freshman guard Rhea Sariano, who poured in 11 points on the night, while sophomore Justice Keikaoha added 10 to keep the Raiders in control. But in the second half, Kamehameha flipped the script. Nihoa Dunn dominated the paint for the Warriors, racking up 18 points and 9 rebounds, while Kapamaikai Nakakura delivered from deep, drilling 3 three-pointers on her way to 12 points. The fourth quarter was a true battle, with both teams exchanging leads in the final minutes, but when it mattered most, Kamehameha locked in defensively, making key stops while converting clutch baskets and free throws down the stretch to seal a 40-34 lead. With the win, Kamehameha captured their first state title since 2013, ending Iolani's reign and avenging last season's heartbreaking loss.
Mahalo for tuning in on our recap of the girls basketball state tournament. Go also check out the recap of the boys soccer state tournament.
Mahalo to Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union, Young Brothers, Hawaii Pacific Health, Hardware Hawaii, Hawaii Building and Construction Trade Council, and City Milk for sponsoring our show.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for the boys basketball state championship.